The word of Adonai came to me. As for you, human being, here is what Adonai Elohim says about the land of Israel. The end is coming soon, to the four corners of the land. Now the end is upon you. I will send my anger upon you. I will judge you according to your ways. I will bring on you all the disgusting practices. My eye will not spare you. I will have no pity, but I will bring your ways upon you. Your disgusting practices will be done among you. Then you will know that I am Adonai. Here is what Adonai Elohim says. Disaster, unique disaster. Here it comes. The end is coming. The end is coming. It rouses itself against you. Here it comes. Doom has come to you. You live in the land. The time has come. The day is near. For tumult, not joyful shouts on the mountains. Now soon I will pour out my fury on you. I will spend my anger on you. I will judge you according to your ways. I will bring on you all the disgusting practices. My eye will not spare you. I will have no pity. But will bring upon you what your ways deserve, and your disgusting practices will be among you. Then you will know it is I, Adonai, striking you. Here is the day, here it comes. Doom has gone out. The rod has blossomed. Arrogance has budded. Violence has grown into a rod of wickedness. Nothing is left of them, nothing of their crowds, nothing of their wealth. There is nothing of importance in them. The time has come. The day has arrived. Let neither buyer rejoice nor seller regret, for wrath is coming to all her many people. For the sellers will not return what he sold, even if he is still alive. For through the vision was brought to all her many people, nobody repented. Each kept living his own wicked life. They weren't strong enough to repent. The shofar has sounded, everything is ready, but no one goes out to the battle. For my wrath is coming to all her many people. Outside is the sword, inside plague and famine. Those in the country will die by the sword, and as for those in the city, plague and famine will eat them up. But if any of them manage to escape, they will head for the mountains like doves from the valleys, all of them moaning, each for his sin. All hands will droop, all knees turn to water. They will put on sackcloth, horror will cover them. Every face will be ashamed, every head shaved bald. They will throw their silver into the streets. Their gold will be like something unclean. On the day of Adonai wrath, their silver and gold won't be able to rescue them. These days won't satisfy their hunger. These things won't fill their stomachs, because they are what caused them to sin. From their beautiful jewelry in which they took such pride, they made their abominable idols. For their other detestable things, therefore, for them I have caused it to be like something unclean. I will hand it over to foreigners as booty, to the wicked of the earth as spoil, and they will profane it. I will turn my face away from them. Then Baal will profane my secret place. Robbers will enter and profane it. Forge a chain, for the land is full of capital crimes, and the city is full of violence. Therefore, I will bring the worst of the nations to take possession of their homes. I will end the arrogance of the strong, and their holy places will be profaned. When horror comes, they will seek peace, but there will be none. Calamity will follow calamity. Rumor will follow rumor. They will seek a vision from the prophet, but Torah will perish from the Kohen, and advice from the leaders. The king will go into mourning. The prince will be clothed with fright. And the hands of the people in the land will tremble in terror. I will treat them as their ways of life deserve, and judge them as they have judged others. Then they will know that I am Adonai. On the 5th day of the 6th month in the 6th year, I was sitting in my house, and the leaders of Yehudah were sitting there with me. The hand of Adonai Elohim fell on me. I looked and saw what seemed like a man made of fire. From what appeared to be his waist downward was fire, and from his waist upward was what appeared to be a gleaming amber-colored brilliance. The form of a hand was put out. which took me by the lock of my hair, and the Spirit lifted me up between earth and heaven, and brought me, in these visions from God, to Jerusalem, to the entrance of the inner courtyard gate that faces north. There stood the idol that arouses God's jealousy and provokes his zealous indignation. There before me was the glory of Adonai of Israel, as in the vision I had seen in the valley. Then he said to me, "Human being, raise your eyes towards the north." I raised my eyes toward the north and saw, north of the altar gate, this image that arouses God's jealousy in the entryway. He asked me, "Human being, do you see what they are doing, the horrible, disgusting practices that the house of Israel is committing here, so that I must distance myself from my own sanctuary? But you will see even worse abominations." He brought me to the entrance of the courtyard, and when I looked, I saw a hole in the wall. He said to me, "Human being, dig into the wall." After digging into the wall, I saw a door. "Go in," he said, "and see the wicked practices they are engaging in here." So I went in and looked, and there, carved on the walls all around, were every kind of reptile and repulsive animal, along with all the idols of the house of Israel. Standing in front of them were 70 of the leading men of the house of Israel. In the center stood Yozayahu, the son of Shaphan. Each man had his incense burner in his hand, and a thick cloud of incense went up. Then he said to me, "Human being, do you see what the leaders of the house of Israel are doing in the dark, each one in the room of his own carved image? Because they say, 'Adonai can't see us. Adonai has left the land.'" He also said to me, "You will see even worse abominations that they are doing." He brought me to the entrance of the north gate of Adonai's house, and there before me were women weeping for Tammuz. "Human being," he asked me, "have you seen this? You will see practices even more disgusting than these." He brought me into the inner courtyard of Adonai's house, and there at the entrance of the temple of Adonai, between the porch and the altar, were about 25 men, and their back toward the temple of Adonai, and their faces toward the east, and they were worshiping the sun toward the east. He asked me, "Human being, have you seen this? Does the house of Yehuda consider it casual matter that they commit the disgusting practices they are committing here, thus filling the land with violence, provoking me still more? Look, they are even putting the branch to their nose. Therefore I will act in fury, my eye will not spare. I will have no pity, even if they cry loudly right in my ears. I will not listen to them." Then he cried loudly right in my ears, "Summon the commanders of the city, each holding his weapon for destruction." At once 6 men approached on the path from the upper gate to the north, each man holding his weapon of destruction. Among them was a man clothed in linen, with a scribe's writing equipment at his waist. They entered and stood by the bronze altar. Then the glory of God of the house of Israel was made to go up from over the keruv, where it had been, to the threshold of the house. He called the man clothed in linen, who had the scribe's writing equipment at his waist. Adonai said to him, "Go throughout the city, through all Jerusalem, and put the mark on the foreheads of the men who are sitting and crying all over the disgusting practices that are being committed in it." The others I heard them say, "Go through the city after them and strike. Don't let your eyes spare. Have no pity. Kill old men, young men, girls, little children, women, slaughter them all. But don't go near anyone with the mark. Begin at my sanctuary." They began with the leaders in front of the house. Then he said to them, "Defile the house. Fill the courtyards with the corpses. Get going." So they went out, spreading death in the city. While the killing was going out, I was left alone. I fell on my face and cried and said, "O Adonai Elohim, pouring out your fury on Jerusalem, are you going to destroy everyone left in Israel?" Then he said to me, "The wickedness of the house of Israel and Yehuda is enormous. The land is full of blood, and the city is full of justice denied. Because they say, 'Adonai has left the land,' Adonai doesn't see. But as for my concern, my eye will not spare, and I will have no pity, but I will bring the consequences of their own ways on their heads." At this point, the man clothed in linen with the writing equipment at his waist returned and reported, "I have done everything you ordered me to do.